If you want to stay competitive as a creator or business owner right now, you have to adapt to this tech. But there's a massive roadblock. Getting consistent characters using closed source tools isn't always reliable. You end up iterating forever just to get that perfect shot with very little control. The only truly reliable way to do this is to run it locally, where you control every aspect of the process. So today, we're solving this problem together. We're building a workflow completely from scratch, and stick around until the end, because I have some good news for those of you who need this, but are a little intimidated by the spaghetti nodes. Let's get into it. For those of you who don't know how to start using ComfyUI, you have a few options. You can install it directly on your computer, use the desktop app, or run it in the cloud if you don't have a GPU of your own. I've already made a step-by-step video on how to get started if you're new or haven't installed it yet. If that's you, go watch that video first. It will clear up any doubts and help you get ComfyUI up and running. First of all, update your ComfyUI. We are going to start from a blank canvas, so hit Ctrl+S to save the workflow and give it a name. Let's call it Consistent Character. After that, let's download all the custom nodes we're going to need. These are the custom nodes we're going to use in this workflow. Open the manager and click on Custom Nodes Manager. In the search bar, search for these specific nodes and click Install on all the ones we're going to need. We'll need to have all of these installed to make the workflow function correctly. Go ahead and pause the video right here to search for and install all of these nodes. Once they finish downloading, you need to completely restart ComfyUI to apply the updates. Make sure you close both your browser tab and your command terminal. When you boot it back up, all your new nodes will be loaded in and ready to use. I will give all the download links in the description, along with the folder paths where you need to save them, so you can just click the links to download. Alright, so I hope you've got everything downloaded and ready to rock. Let's start building. We're going to build this from left to right. First, we need to load the core models. Double-click anywhere on your blank canvas to bring up the search menu, type in UNET Loader, and click on it. Place that on the far left, click the drop-down, and select the Qwen FP8 model we downloaded earlier. Double-click again, search for a clip loader, and place it right below the UNET. Choose the Qwen Vision Clip model, and make sure you change the type setting to Qwen Images. Double-click one more time, search for a VAE loader, put it below the clip, and select the Qwen VAE. Again, double-click on the canvas, search for a load LoRa, and place it next to your UNET. Connect the model output from your UNET loader directly into this LoRa node. Select the Lightning 4-step LoRa. Huge shout out to the creator LightX2V for making this. It is going to drastically speed up our generation times, so we only need 4 steps. Add a second load LoRa node. Connect the model output from your first LoRa into this new one. For this node, select the Pose Studio V5 LoRa created by MIU Project. This is the secret sauce that helps the model perfectly understand and hold the poses. Now, double-click and add 2 load image nodes. Let's label the top one reference character and upload the image of the character we want to use. Label the bottom one reference pose and upload the image that has the pose we want to copy. Again, double-click to bring up the search menu and type in DW Pose Estimator. Place it next to your reference pose node and drag the image output into the image input of the preprocessor. This node will automatically extract the stick figure skeleton from our pose reference. Now we need to tell Qwen exactly what to do with those images we just loaded. For this, we are going to use the custom Qwen nodes we installed earlier. Double-click on your canvas and search for Text Encode Qwen Image Edit Plus Pro. This will be our positive prompt. Let's wire it up. Drag a wire all the way from the clip output of your clip loader on the far left into the clip input of this new node. Do the same for the VAE output from your VAE loader. Now for the images. Take the image output from your DW preprocessor, the skeleton, and plug it into image 1. Take the image output from your reference character node and plug it into image 2. Next, we need to tell what we don't want. Double-click and add a second text encode Qwen Image Edit Plus Pro node. This is our negative prompt. Connect the same clip and VAE lines to this node as well. Alright, everything is set up. Now we just need the engine that actually builds the image. Double-click to bring up your search and add a K-sampler node. Place it to the right of your text encoders. Let's wire it up. Drag the model output from your second LoRa, the Pose Studio one, into the model input. Drag the conditioning with full ref from your bottom text encoder, negative into negative. Drag the conditioning with full ref from your top text encoder, positive into positive. Now, here's a special trick for Qwen. Grab the latent output from your positive text encoder and plug it into latent image. We don't need a blank empty latent because Qwen creates the starting point for us. Because we are using that Lightning LoRa, we can make this incredibly fast. Change steps to 4, CFG to 1.0, make sure your sampler name is Euler, and your scheduler is simple. Leave the denoise at 0.95 or 1.0. We have our generated data, but we need to decode it back into a picture we can actually see. Double-click and add a VAE decode node right next to the K-sampler. Connect the latent output from the K-sampler into the sample input. Now, drag a wire all the way from the VAE output of your VAE loader, way back on the far left, and plug it into the VAE input here. Now that our image is generated and the pose transfer is complete, the VAE decode node has decoded it back into a normal picture. To ensure perfect character consistency, we are going to take the face from our original reference character and apply it directly onto this newly generated image. The new nodes are going to expect both an image and a mask, but our VAE decode only outputs an image. So we need to add get image size and solid mask. Now, just connect the width output from the get image size node into the width input of the solid mask. Do the exact same thing for the height. To get the absolute best, most realistic facial consistency, we are going to use Flux for this second pass. Double-click and add a load diffusion model. We are using the Flux 2 Klein 9B model here because it's incredibly powerful for its size. Next, add a load LoRa, plug the UNET into it. We are loading the BFS head face swap LoRa. This is specifically trained to lock onto a character's likeness. We also need a new text encoder and VAE for Flux. Double-click and add a load clip, select the Qwen 38BFP 8 mix model, and a VAE loader, select the Flux 2 VAE. Now we need to tell the AI exactly where to put the new face on our generated image. Instead of drawing a mask by hand, we are going to make it do automatically. Double-click and add a grounding dyno model loader and a SAM model loader. These two models work together as an automated masking team. Add a grounding dyno SAM segment node. Connect your SAM and dyno models to it. Add a layer utility image scale by aspect ratio V2 node. Connect the mask output from our solid mask node into the mask input here. Then, drag a wire from the image output of our VAE decode into the image input. Take the image output from that layer utility node we just wired up and plug it into the image input here. In the text box, type head, face, neck. Now it will scan the image and perfectly cut out the head for us. Set the threshold somewhere between 0.15 and 0.20. I'm using 0.17 here, but you can always adjust this later if the mask grabs too much or too little. To make sure the new face blends seamlessly into the body, we need soft edges, add a grow mask with blur, plug the dyno mask into it, and set the blur radius to like 15, and expand to 30. This feathers the edges so there are no harsh lines. Now, we don't want the background from that original photo messing up our clean new scene. So add Easy Image RemBG, drag a long wire all the way from the image output of our original reference character on the far left, and plug it into the image's input here. And now, we are going to bring all the pieces together into one node. Add Painter Flux Image Edit. Think of this node as the director for our face swap. It looks at the body, checks the mask to see exactly where the head belongs, analyzes the reference face to know who to draw, and reads the prompt to understand how to blend it all together. Plug in the clip and VAE from our Flux models. This is what gives the node the ability to understand our text prompt and process the images. Connect the mask output from Grow Mask with Blur node directly into the image one mask input here. This acts as a stencil. This tells only change the pixels inside this exact shape. Connect our main generated body image from the layer utility scaler into image 1. Finally, connect the background removed reference face from the Easy Image RemBG node into image 2. This is the exact visual identity we are injecting into the image. We are almost done. Now, add K-sampler and VAE decode. Wire up the model, conditioning, and latents. Sorry, one more thing I forgot. we need to make sure Flux generates our new face at the exact right size. Take the width and height output and plug them directly into the width and height inputs at the bottom of the Painter Flux image edit node. Next, we need to bring the two halves of our workflow together. Add an image composite masked. Think of this as our digital glue. Connect the image output from the new Flux VAE decode into the source input. Connect from the layer utility node into the destination input. Now, take the mask output from our Grow Mask with Blur node and plug it into the mask input here. This cleanly cuts out the face with perfectly soft edges and slaps it right onto our posed body. In this node, the mode may come as one image by default, so change it to 2 image. Finally, add preview image or save image. Alright, the entire workflow is built. Now it's time for the fun part. Let's test it and see what we get. First, head over to the left side of our workflow. In the top reference character node, I'm going to upload my reference character. In the bottom pose reference node, I'm uploading the reference pose I want my character to be in. Once ready, hit run and wait for the result. Okay, in the process, if you want to see the result before reaching the final stage, you can add a preview image node. The image is generated. Let's duplicate the reference character node for comparison. See, this image is incredibly consistent. It is the exact same person. In case you want the person to keep the same outfit, you can do that too by prompting the outfit, the background, or any other details you want to add. All of those things can be controlled with the prompt. We can change the pose reference image and upload different poses. We can add more features like accessories, custom backgrounds, or multiple characters. We can also make the image look more natural with less of a plastic look, upscale it, and there's still a lot more we can customize. If you need a custom ComfyUI pipeline built for your agency, e-commerce brand, or even for personal use, you can reach out to me. My email is down in the description. To help me filter out the noise and focus on serious projects, please email me your details first. I'm on Upwork, so we can set up the actual project from there. So that's it for today. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.